Oops.
We're already live, so
Yes.
I'll wait for Isha to come.
Okay.
Yes, we are live.
Bang on time, huh? 2 o'clock.
Yes, I think we can do that.
Yeah, leading by example.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Lakshmi ma'am, shall I introduce the panelists or will you introduce?
Yes, I'll say that this is a continuation, then after that you can introduce the panelists.
Okay.
Okay, let's start.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to one more series of OCI's sessions, which is live on Facebook. So this time, again, to break the trend from debates, we are going on to panel discussion. And today's discussion is going to be on, in terms of contact lenses, why is the penetration so low in terms of contact lens penetration in India? I'll hand over to the moderator, Paula, who will then introduce the panel, and then we'll start from there. Thank you, Paula.
Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon, all panelists. So I will introduce everybody and we will go alphabetically. So we have Mr. Ajay Mishra. Ajay sir is currently the general manager of GKB Opticals, and today he will be at the capacity of we will go alphabetically. So we have Mr. Ajay Isha. Isha is currently a senior faculty at Lotus College of Optometry, and she is also a private practitioner. So we have Isha today in the capacity of an academician. Welcome, Isha. And then we have Khemraj. Khemraj, we of course know, he's from Bausch & Lomb, and today he will be in the capacity of the corporate. And Khemraj is currently the manager of professional services. Hi, Khemraj. And then we have Nilesh sir. Today we have Nilesh sir as an educator, as a industry expert, and of course as a representative of IICL. He will be giving his inputs as a representative from IICL. Welcome, Nilesh sir. So to start with the panel discussion, the first question I will have is, so we know that the Indian population is almost around 1.2 billion. And if we refer to refractive error, so of course, urban and rural will have their percentages, but then averagely, if we take it around 5%, then it is around 6 crore. And recent studies, it has been found that the contact lens penetration is around, I would say, 1.5 to 2 lakh approximately. So what do you think is the reason? I would like to start with Ajay sir.
Thank you, Paula. Thank you for including me in this panel discussion. There is no single reason for this low contact lens penetration, what I believe. You have multi-layer approach to address this problem. Let us understand, who all are the stakeholders of contact lens penetration. If we are talking about this penetration, primarily it look like optometrists are the one who are responsible for this situation. But if you go through with the optom's journey, I think you will understand this in better. Let us understand the holistic approach of optom's journey. तो शुरू से शुरू करते हैं. So the journey start from the institutes where the optoms are getting formal training and education. And see, since I'm involved in recruitment too, so few institutes I have found they are really doing fantastic job, and you get a really good optometrist. They are thorough with the contact lens, not only contact lens skills, but also optometry skills are thorough. But that institutes are only you can finger count. But then you have many institutes from where optoms are passing out. They don't even have basic exposure of contact lens. Some of them have even not even touched contact lens when they are passing out. So they really need to improve their quality. So this is number one, first stakeholder. Number two, what I believe is optometrists working after passing out, they are working in a different organization. Some of them are working in hospitals, some of them are working in optical setup, optical chains. So here, owners of the shop or chain, the decision making authority, they are focusing on a product, uh, keeping in mind the time, time, chair time versus margins. So they have a specific focus, and thus optometrist has to work under their guidelines. So that is another stakeholder, what I believe, which has to be looked upon. And third is manufacturer, contact lens manufacturer. So in our panel, Khemraj is here. So industry who need to ensure the appropriate accessibility and availability of contact lens trial in all potential doors. They are the one who need to ensure this. And fourth is optometrist. What they need to know is how to pitch contact lens. Therefore, they need to work on communication skill. And I believe if we take care of all these four pillars, four stakeholders, we can definitely improve the situation, contact lens penetration situation in India.
Ola,
Paula,
you're
you are
muted.
muted.
You're muted.
Yeah.
Paula,
So,
unmute yourself. Yeah.
yes, Kemraj, your thoughts.
Yeah, I think Ajay sir nicely, put it into perspective. I would say we look at it, from industry perspective. I would say industry is part to it, whatever is the situation. So I will look at it as a triad where industry, practitioner, and consumer, all these three pillars are interlinked. As Ajay sir's pointed out about, touched upon education part, I will also say that yes, from an industry perspective, it's our role to obviously ensure the product is available. Wherever there's a requirement of consumer to fit a contact lens to that practitioner, the product should be available. That's number one. Number two, it's not only about limited to product availability. It also has to go beyond that, and that's why you see roles merging. For example, it is believed that educating people on fitting contact lenses is a role of education institute, colleges, university. But you will see a lot of time and a lot of, I would say, especially in contact lens industry, that industry also overlapping that particular role, because we need more efforts, or more compounding effort to have trained skill force who can actively fit contact lenses. That's number one. Second thing, why penetration is low is consumer angle, that a lot of time consumers are not aware that contact lens can be an option for me. Now, why he's not aware, whether the practitioner has not told him, or what industry is doing to, maybe being visible to this consumer that, hey, I am there as an option for you. That's again an area where we should, think about again. Also, from practitioner point of view, I personally feel the practitioner sitting on that chair is very important and a crucial decision maker. A lot of studies which we keep on doing in India, one my favorite study is users and attitude study, which we do almost every 4 year. And every time it comes out, when we ask contact lens users who were on contact using contact lenses, who introduced this particular modality to you for the first time. Obviously, there are options like friend, family, peer group, internet, media, but the first ranking always goes to an eye care practitioner. So I would say, from an industry perspective, consumer education is important. However, before that, we need to have skilled force who can actively fit contact lenses and passionately recommending contact lenses. That's something which I feel are the areas where we can work on to move that bar a little higher.
Mute.
Okay. So Isha, as an academician, what are your thoughts on this?
I think definitely perhaps across the board we can probably try and improve on this is coming from Ajay's a comment where he said there are a few institutes where the students come out quite well equipped, but in a lot of them they don't. And I've heard this obviously I can only speak for my institute, but I have heard this feedback from a lot of other people who have gone to other institutes, who have gone to work in places where they've met optometrists from other institutes, and it is surprising that there's quite a big gap between sort of the level of knowledge that the kids have when they graduate. And I would be interested to know why that is. I feel like perhaps with IACL's help, and I know you guys are doing obviously as much as you can with all the student exams and the rest of it, but maybe we can streamline the contact lens curriculum across the board. I don't know if it's to do with I don't know whether it's to do with equipment or space or faculty. I'm not sure what it is, but I feel like at a lot of institutes, perhaps the students are not getting the hands-on experience that they need. You know, they're learning all the theory, but you don't learn how to fit a contact lens by reading a book. You learn how to fit a contact lens by doing it again and again and again and again. So perhaps that's something that needs to be addressed. Are the students across the board, when I say across the board, in all institutes across the country, getting enough hands-on experience, whether it is fitting, just doing it on each other, whether it's doing insertion removals on each other, whether it's seeing live patients, whatever it may be, is that there definitely appears to be a gap there. Now, secondly, as teachers, right? Now, let's assume that I teach at one of these institutes where we do have a very solid contact lens program. Even once my students leave the institute, they still they won't learn how to talk to patients unless they actually do it. So they need some experience and some guidance regarding how to speak to people, not just patients, how to speak to people, how to talk, how to communicate. I think communication is a big thing. Again, we teach that, we can teach it, but until they start doing it, it's not gonna completely it's not gonna go in. They're not gonna be able to gain the confidence until they do it again and again. And I think perhaps there's a stopgap between them graduating and sort of being fairly well equipped and then going into practice wherever they may go, and it sort of gets a bit stunted. So I guess it also depends on where they go to work, what they go to do, what type of practice they're in once they've left. Because communication is something you can only learn by doing again and again. We can teach it. We can teach as much as possible. We do role plays, we do all of that stuff, but it's always different when it's a real patient, because you can't predict the questions that they're going to ask, and you can't predict the approach that they're going to take. So I think that's something that maybe we need to consider, that students coming out of university need some time to learn and to gain a little bit of experience. We cannot expect them to come straight out of university and know exactly what to say and exactly what to do, because this doesn't just apply in optometry, it applies in all walks of life. Where straight out of university, of course they're inexperienced. They will need some time, they will need some guidance. So that I think falls into the hands of the employer.
Okay. Nilesh sir, your thoughts?
Yeah, of course. Thank you, Paula, first of all. And I think these three have summarized the issue very well. I'll just add a little bit to that. But I'll start with what you mentioned about the penetration. Uh, According to the latest estimates, and these are estimates, we cannot pinpoint, we cannot be very accurately quoting it. We have around 1.5 million contact lens users in India, which comes to around 15 lakh. Just a correction, right? And we talk about penetration of about 5%. This 5% is not of the 5%, not of the population of India, not even 5% of the people who require refractive correction. There is a pyramid that we follow, which is total population of India, then looking at how many are living in cities which have 5 lakh plus population, then how many have refractive error, and how many have access to contact lenses. That target group comes to around 1.8 to 2 crore people, not even 6 crore. And out of that, we have 15 lakh. So we say around 5 to 6% is a penetration of contact lenses in India, which is extremely low if you compare to other countries. Um, and that is why we are having this discussion. And I personally feel there are different, I think Ajay mentioned that we need to look at categories. We need to look at practitioners, patients, and then we need to look at educational institutes and industry as separate. But if you look at the barriers at the practitioner level, and we did this, we have done that. So I'm going to speak about not just what my thoughts are, but what kind of studies we have done in past. So about 5-6 years back, we had a focus discussion and we did a survey among the practitioner, and we asked them what could be the barriers of contact lenses in your mind. And the top barrier came as increased chair time. So practitioners somehow do not want to spend time with their patients. That came as a barrier. A little bit surprising, because I think a good practitioner would actually want to spend time with their patients, so that you develop a rapport, you explain whatever you want to the patient. And I think that is one tool where you can actually build long-term loyalty eventually, right? So, but that came as a barrier, and I can understand the downside, because rush practice, more number of people, and you look at the profitability as well. But that came as a top barrier. The second one was they're kind of, there's a fear of losing their patients either to internet or to other practitioner competition eventually. So these came as the top two barriers from the practitioner side. Now we asked the practitioner, what do you think could be the reasons why your patients are not wearing contact lenses? And or the barriers to wearing contact lenses. And some of the barriers they thought were uh, care and maintenance, the hassle of wearing a contact lens. That was one of them. And generally Indian people do not want to touch their eyes. So the pocophobia, as the term we use, it seems that that is a problem. It could be a cultural issue or whatever, but people don't want to play around with their eyes too much, and that is why they don't want to wear contact lenses. Now add to that certain myths. 15-20 years back, somebody was wearing a hard contact lens and there was a dust particle and there was watering, and the same myths are getting passed on to generations, and still people feel contact lenses would be uncomfortable and so on. So there is definitely an issue with at a patient level or a consumer level, if you want to say, which is about the myths and not knowing the exact information about the current contact lenses, and also the care and maintenance aspect. I think Khemraj mentioned that. I'm not sure whether he did right now, but most of the consumers know about contact lenses, surprisingly. हमें लगता है कि लोगों को पता नहीं है contact lens. No, that's not the case. We found out in a study more than 82% people knew about contact lenses. The problem is they feel it's not for me because my practitioner never mentioned these lenses to me. So they know they exist, but they feel it's not for me, it's for someone else. It's something like a vacuum cleaner. Everyone knows about a vacuum cleaner. Very few use it, even after buying it, right? So that's where I think we are. People know about it, but people don't know that I should wear contact lenses. And maybe we'll discuss this further as we go on. Paula.
Yes. So taking this forward, the basic question. So I would like to ask Ajay. Ajay said that because he's representing a huge chain, which is a pan-India chain. Any specific points you want to mention? That what is the kind of a maybe one or two main barriers which is, why contact lenses, the people are not using contact lenses, are not interested to use.
Okay, Paula. So, see, barriers. What I always believe is within ourselves. It is within optometrists first. Okay, so first we
I
need to
like
break
that,
our
Ajay.
own barrier.
I like that point.
Very true, Ajay, very
So
true.
first, yeah. So thank you, and I think this is if you really study this well, I mean, Nilesh sir अभी तो इंडिया में बहुत सारे study conduct करते हैं. Then if he will study on this particular issue, he will find the barriers is always within the optometrists first. They need to break their own barrier.
So,
They
so
are shying.
Ajay,
I
before you
mean,
proceed, shall I just answer your question? Because
yes,
in the same study that we did, na, there was a
yes,
question about practitioners' point of view also, that whether practitioners feel confident about counseling and managing the complications, etc. And surprisingly, that got very low rating. That means जिन्होंने आंसर किया उनको लगता है कि practitioner में कोई problem ही नहीं है. So I think the first step is we need to accept, if at all,
correct,
if we lack
correct.
something we need to accept, right? तो वो
Correct.
नहीं हो रहा honestly.
हाँ, क्योंकि वो तो हम लोगों की मेंटेलिटी है कि
हमें सब आता है.
हमारे अंदर तो सभी ठीक है, सब कुछ
हम्म.
ठीक है. So this is what our basically our mentality are. But
No,
I strongly,
yeah, the
yes, yes,
surprising part, Ajay, I feel, so especially like when you were all discussing about students and, students not really, what to say, up to the mark when they graduate, and all of that was in the earlier discussion. What is surprising to me is, refraction and contact lens are the minimum things that one would, require when you graduate, because that's your breadwinner. You need to know that,
Better.
isn't it? When you graduate, to be a master at it, because that is what you're going to fall back on to earn your everyday bread. So it's a bit surprising for me, Ajay, that that when you're going out, that
yeah.
you're
But
not,
then
if you're not that confident in these two, wouldn't you be like kind of scared to say, what am I going to do if I'm not confident? So
Sorry, Lakshmi, I'm
I
sorry. I just wanted to interject here. When they come out of an institute, they know how to fit contact lenses. They know how to refract. They know how to refract. They know the theory. They know how to fit. So from a good institute, they will know how to choose a lens for that particular person. They will know how to choose the correct lens, the correct material, the correct modality. They will know exactly how to insert, remove the lens. They will know how to explain to the patient how to take care of the lens. All of that they know how to do. But the point here is that what they don't know how to do, and unfortunately it's something that you really cannot teach, is how to convince a patient that they are that
contact lenses
is something that they can use. Like, obviously they will recommend, but the point comes, that is one aspect of communication that only comes with confidence. Now they know all the procedure correctly. So as soon as the patient is sitting in that chair, they know that, okay, this is exactly what I need to do. These are the questions I need to ask. This is a procedure I need to follow. All of that they know. But then if they've got their boss putting pressure on them, saying, the second they come out of university, they've got their boss putting pressure on them, saying that, okay, tomorrow you need to do 5 contact lens fit, and you need to convince this patient or these 5 patients tomorrow to wear contact lenses. That is quite intimidating. It is intimidating because these are kids, like, they've just graduated, they know the procedures, okay, but they can only know how to communicate once they actually do it in real life.
No, you've gone a step further, Isha. I like what Ajay said. You can actually count on your fingers the institutes from which you feel that the students are confident even to fit contact lenses. Ajay knows, and I'm sure Kemraj is also aware, that the number of institutes from where student graduate where they don't know how to place
Even
a
the fitting.
Yeah,
they have not forget about fitting. They have not even touched contact lens once in their life.
So I know that you're talking about institutes where they are. What I'm trying to say is, when they're graduating, forget about the institutes and all of that, but as a student, I think each student needs to know that when I graduate, the minimum that I need to know as an optometrist are these two. So I really need to push the institute to teach me these two things, So that's, I find that very strange. I can't find any other word, Ajay.
Yeah, but
But it's true.
reality.
But it's
It's a
true.
harsh reality. Okay, it's a strange. Definitely, see what Isa is saying. That is a second step. If optoms they are aware how to fit, then we are ready to teach them.
Correct.
Correct.
Until unless you don't know what contact lens look like, how contact lens look like. I mean, you must have seen only in photographs, and you are graduated in optometry.
Yeah.
What to teach now? So I'm literally lost. What to
Mhm.
teach this person now?
That's fair.
Obviously,
So,
because all these establishments are not the coaching center. They are not the training institute. They are
Yeah.
commercial
So
organizations. They
so
want
that
so
that is a different topic altogether.
yeah,
I mean, OCI really need to intervene in this institutes and their education and curriculum. So that is another great task for OCI.
अच्छा है अजय, ऐसे ही धीरे धीरे काम बताते जाओ सीए को.
Carry on,
Yes.
Paula. So I
Uh,
think she was
so coming
asking
back to
from practitioners.
Paula's question, yeah. So it is first of all the great barrier is within optometrist, and then as Isa was mentioning, optometrists they are really some of the optometrists I find they are really very technically sound. They know everything from A to Z. They know everything about eyes, but they don't know how to communicate. They know this patient, if I approach him, he may buy contact lens. He may end up, if I gave him trial, he may end up buying contact lens, but they don't know how to communicate,
Hmm.
what to communicate. That is another problem. So communication is area where optometrists really need to improve. They need to I mean, industry is already helping out. A lot of industries are
Yeah.
now coming up with their communication skill training structure, and
So
some of the optometrists, those who are working in a structured format, optical outlet or hospital, there also you have seen last couple of years people are stressing too much on communication skills, which is very required thing. So this is one of the barrier which I think if you remove the barrier from your own mind, then definitely the penetration in that particular setup will go up.
so
So soft skills are important. Soft skills are important.
Yes, soft
Yes.
skills are important, and removing barrier from their own mind, and that only he can remove. See, if optometrist is working in a particular optical setup, and owner himself is not convinced because of various reason, margin is one another reason. Industry again is cameras is here, so margins, because sometimes owner are focusing too much of margin. And why they are focusing on too much of margin? Margins, contact lens margins are really low, and they think that you spend too much of time, 45 minutes or 1 hour time in one contact lens patient. So rather give this time, devote this time on dispensing area of you say maybe spectacle dispensing, I can generate better margin. So this is again maybe I can say if you calculate it well, you can show that you are getting better margins. Even owner, you can convince owner first, and if the bosses are convinced, then optometrists will remove their what you call it, dirt from their mind.
But this is just out of the context thing. It just came to my mind because previous discussions we were having, we were saying that okay, an optometrist inside the clinic does the refraction and then explains the kind of spectacle a person can is recommended, and then it goes to the salesperson. But
Correct.
when it comes to contact
Correct.
lens, the end to end almost lies on the optometrist. So where is the problem of the owner here? Because at the end of the day, अगर spectacle किसी को लेना है तो वो तो चला ही जाएगा, उसका chair time anyways 15-20 minutes ही लगेगा. So how is it, like how is that
Correct.
mentality, like that mentality develops? Nilesh sir, if you can, I mean, I don't know.
See how a particular person thinks is a little tricky to understand, but I can give you my hypothesis. Typically हर किसी को यही लगता है ना कि first of all you are doing tests, you are touching the eye, you are taking a risk, you are spending so much time and then dispensing contact lens. उससे अच्छा है, why don't you just fit spectacles, and there is huge margin in the spectacle, and the business is going on well. Why are you spending so much time? That is a very short term and a quick thought which comes to people's mind. Now we need to go beyond that and understand the benefits of contact lens practice, right? Because these are going to be your long-term patients. A contact lens patient comes more often, almost every quarter. The patient comes back to you. Could be a solution, could be an accessory or something. So business opportunity also increases. The respect this person has for an optometrist and a practitioner is way higher. The referrals you get from your contact lens patients are much higher compared to only spectacle wearing patient. So when you look at these things, then obviously the contact lens practice becomes as lucrative as or more lucrative than doing only spectacle dispensing practice. But you need to understand that, you need to have an understanding of that, and it's a little long term. Immediately in that 45 minutes probably you will not see that kind of business opportunity, right? But if you see over a year or 2 years, then you realize, wow, this is what it is. So the short sightedness has to be dealt with, number one. Now just to add to Ajay's point, I want to say one thing. Opposite of knowledge is not ignorance, it is illusion of knowledge. Okay. Now everyone thinks that I am great contact lens practitioner. I know how to talk to my patients and the patients don't want contact lenses. This is an assumption in the back of their mind. I have never ever seen any person coming to me and asking me, how do I talk to my patient about contact lens? Proactively, nobody ever came to me. I can tell you 1,000 people came to me asking me, how do I fit rose scale lens? How do I fit orthocale lens? How do I fit scleral lens? Never ever anybody came asking, how do I exactly talk about contact lens to my patients? Because they feel they know how to do that, but they don't. And we developed protocols, we developed tools. Nobody even bothers to ask us, nobody even bothers to approach us for that. So this is where the problem is. We don't know. So maybe we don't know what we don't know, or we are overconfident that we know everything, one of the two.
I just want to link what Paula started asking and then what Lisa replied. Like Paula did mention that anyways, for a refraction, the patient has to go to an optometrist. And to do that refraction, he has that 10-15 minutes. Why he's not speaking up there? That is the time no one is snatching from optom.
Absolutely.
I think, and the point that Nilesh is mentioning is absolutely correct, that the kind of protocols which we should be training our people on has a lot of importance, which is currently we are ignoring. For example, when we are training people, in the institutes, what are the steps we should start history taking? Can't we include one question that, are you wearing contact lens? Have you ever worn contact lens? That's it. Start including contact lens in your discussion. That's it. We are not asking, start putting trials the moment patients sit on the
Absolutely.
chair.
Sorry,
And
Kimraj, we do. They are taught this. They
Isha,
are.
Isha, the point is, are we taking those processes right there when they're sitting on that chair and asking these questions? I assume if it's not happening. Because if that would have happening, at least out of 100 they spoke, do you wear contact lens? At least 20 will say, okay, by the way, can I really wear? And that's how the discussion will start. And that is where these protocols or procedures or process orientation can definitely change the picture, is what
right.
I
And
saw.
also came right the point where the staff's role, not the non-optom staff role comes into play.
Yes.
We say that they're not really involved much in contact lenses. Absolutely right, because most of contact lens related discussion will happen with the optometrist in the clinic. But when a patient is interacting outside with the non-optometry staff, if the somewhere in the discussion, if the staff member just asks one question, so are you also wearing contact lenses, that seeds the idea of that means more people are wearing contact lenses, right? That's why this person is asking me. And then you're talking the same language inside the optometry or opticianry setup, the optical setup.
Correct.
Uh,
And
Correct.
then
I feel this
brings
is
your
even bigger
overall
barrier.
market image up. That practice
Yeah.
makes themselves apart. There's something different in this practice. They are something different, and that's how you segregate yourself from rest of the crowd. Sorry,
yeah,
sir. Ajay sir, please continue.
Yes, just wanted to stress on Nilesh sir's point. This is even bigger barrier in our contact lens practice, that people think that these non-technical staff or non-optometry staff, whosoever interacting with the patient first, uh, they should not talk on contact lens too much, because
Yeah.
these are non-technical staff. If you visit hospitals, who are the people who are counseling for
Counseling on
surgeries?
IOL. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
So,
correct.
exactly.
so they all are non-technical people,
Right.
but they counsel so well,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
and people are going for surgeries. Now here you are separating yourself, and the problem lies. This is the biggest problem when you think contact lens lies only. It is the onus of optometrist only. No, you need to involve from, you
Outside
know,
of,
top to bottom
yeah, yeah.
everyone, from security to staff to manager to optometrist. Okay, I mean, if they are involving themselves on a spectacle, this is another corrective device.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's all. They are not going to fit. It is like same like hospitals. They are not going to go for surgery. They are not going to do surgery, but they need
They
to
can counsel
counsel.
well. They can counsel well,
Yes,
yeah,
they
and
can counsel
everyone
well.
speaks the same language, right? So there is
Correct.
an alignment of the
So the
entire
confidence
staff.
goes up.
Absolutely.
Optometrists, the customer think, yeah, this is the place where I can definitely try. At least let me try.
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay,
this is
whether they buy or
I
not.
wanted to answer for Paula's question. Now, I'm not wearing my OCI hat, but my practitioner hat. So, the question that you asked, Paula, when you take time to explain about the product, why don't you explain about the product of spectacles? Usually, what they say is, I've told my staff, so you can ask them. You take them out and you say, I've told my staff, they will guide you regarding spectacle lenses. But they never do that for contact lenses. They never say, okay, contact lenses are suitable. My staff will explain, even if patients are waiting, they can always say, my staff will explain more about that. That is not done. They feel they have to do it only inside the clinic. Okay, so that is where they feel that it's going to take more time. And if somebody is waiting, or, maybe I should tell about contact lenses next time when he visits, and that next time never comes. So that's the difference. What you asked between spectacles and contact lenses, they never say, okay, you're eligible for contact lenses. My staff will talk to you about contact lenses more. That attitude is not there. So because they feel it's a very clinic centric thing, and it should not be spoken outside.
Paula,
Yes.
if we have time, if you can allow me, give me 2 minutes and I'll share my screen and I'll actually share a protocol. Of course, won't take through entirely, but just to understand what are the steps involved and how you can actually deal with this situation. So let me know if I have
Actually,
the permission.
my next question is on that only. So this is to you and Isha. So we have platforms like which is core contact lens like iClip program, and then you are from iCl. So iCl is doing so much of work. Now, and they're providing so many like tools to practitioners and also the educators. So that's what. So where do you think is there still a lack of knowledge, or where is the lacking? So that
There is
like
definitely a lot of room for improvement. I'll put it that way. I won't say lack of knowledge, etc. But there is definitely a room for improvement. There are two things. We've been talking about technical knowledge and the soft skills. I think technical knowledge is relatively easier to build because we are already optometrists. We just have to learn a little bit more about contact lenses. So that way it is still doable. The soft skills is a little difficult. Couple of reasons. One, people take it for granted. सबको लगता है ये तो easy है, मुझे तो आता है. That's one. And secondly, some people, if they are uncomfortable, they remain uncomfortable because you're trying to break the habits, and breaking the habits, changing the habits is the most difficult thing to do with human beings. We all know those who have dealt with human beings, right? So this is why the softer aspect becomes more difficult, Paula. And through programs like iClips and through masterclass programs, etc., we try to do that. Uh, but again, the delegates interest is more into learning hard skills like advanced contact lenses, etc., etc. Nobody thinks that there is so much potential, that so many people are not even recommending soft contact lenses. Why not do that? Yeah. So this is the mindset we need to change. We need to understand that there's a lot of room, there's a lot of scope here, and we need to bridge this particular gap.
Um, I think, Paula, I wanted to go back to something that Ajay said a lot earlier, and we've mentioned it as well, where he said that some students, graduates, optometry graduates, have not even touched a contact lens. How does that happen?
That's a $1 million
How did
question.
how no, but how does that happen? How can you have a degree certificate that says bachelor in optometry and you've never touched a contact lens? OCI, how does this happen? So, I mean,
You need to
Yes.
ask this Paula. I mean, for that you need to visit Paula's hometown. She will take you to many institutes where people are passing out and they have never ever touched contact.
but then this
Should
is a
not be allowed.
fundamental issue from a so if there is no chance, there's no chance if that optometrist has never touched a contact lens, how do we even expect them to even recommend it? So so I
Yes.
think that this is I think IACL and OCI together, we need to really address this issue. Like I think that's something on a very basic level that needs to be addressed. But also, okay, fine, we have these students, we have these graduates. Okay, we have these graduates. And Ajay, let's say these graduates come to sort of work for you as a as an optometrist. I know I keep using quotes marks, but I mean, so how do you deal with this? It's happening, it's a reality, right? It might be a while before we can overcome this barrier, right? It might be a while, but how do you deal with this?
No, for Isa, I don't call them optometrists first of all. I cannot hire these people as an optometrist. They
But
can,
if
they are
they give
welcome.
you a certificate with a degree, a
No,
bachelor
no,
in
because of certificate you are not being hired. No, in a place it is you need to cross multi-level of interviews, and then only if you are suitable,
Yes.
we found you to be suitable for that particular job, then only you are being hired. So with the degree, you are not getting job.
Okay, and then the other thing that you said was that there is a number that you can count on your fingers. So percentage-wise, my question to OCI would be percentage-wise in terms of institutes in the country, how percentage-wise these whatever number of institutes that Ajay is referring to, how many are we talking? Or like percentage-wise, what percentage are we talking?
20 to 25% of all the institutes.
So,
And I'll tell you where the problem lies, Isha. When you ask them on paper, they show you the curriculum, they show you the educators, they'll show you the equipment and all of that. But then, as of now, they don't even allow us to go they don't allow even ASCO to go for an inspection or an audit or anything like that. Or we are not at that level where we can do a skill exam. Knowledge based, yes, maybe they have their own exams and stuff, but skill based competency tests, we still haven't reached that level as a self-regulatory body where we can go ahead and ask them to do a skill based exam, and that's what is required actually, because only then will you really know how qualified are they. But to give you a very rough figure, I would say maybe around 25% would fall into that gamut that Ajay was referring to, and I think Paula would kind of tend to agree to that.
So what we're saying is that 25% of all the graduate optometrists in the country have the basic skills.
Because it won't be the numbers will not, because one college will have 200 students, the other college will have 20 students. I'm talking about the number of colleges. So I would say 30% of colleges not the number of students, maybe would fall into that gamut where they really have good kind of exposure and things like that. They are improving. I won't say that it's not. It's not. I'm sure Ajay would agree. If you look at, of course, not in your, just not in your state, but if you look at all India, Ajay, I would say what we saw maybe 7 years ago and what we're seeing now, there is a definite shift because universities are being questioned and stuff like that. So there is a push towards improving one's what to say one's infrastructure and things like that. But at the same time, there are also 10 new colleges which are coming up. So we are having this, seesaw effect where a few colleges are coming up, and pushing themselves up the ladder. And at the same time, you have 10 new colleges coming up, with hardly any infrastructure. So this is like a seesaw which has been happening at least over the past, recently, I would say maybe 7 years or so. I think Ajay would tend to agree on that.
Yes,
Uh,
somewhat.
this is a question to all the panelists, because now, Isha, you have taken up kind of the role of like, we being a professional organization, we are completely an optometry driven organization, and we work at national level. But then we have state associations as well, wherein optometrists are, doing that, what an association should do. So this is a question to all the panelists, that what, uh, uh, what would you kind of recommend to these professional bodies that they should do to increase the kind of awareness or visibility of contact lenses to the common public? So maybe I would start with Khemraj.
So, a good question, Paula, and I would not restrict myself only this to for the associations. I think all of us need to do that job of introducing contact lens to everybody. And that is like, I'll tell you myself. Now it has reduced, but then I remember me joining the organization in 2007. This is 10, 15 years, 10, 12 years back. Every contact lens user, even in public domain, I see, and then spectacle user, I will itch to speak to him that, okay, by the way, have you ever tried contact lenses? Nothing goes wrong. In fact, a lot of them will thank you that you spoke to them, and at least they had somebody to talk. And then you will get answers like, okay, I never thought about it. But then it is for people who change their color of the eye. Do they also have in power? That kind of answers you will get. So I think that with that very basic objective, we do whatever we can do to inform public. And then, it happens when it comes to change something, we all talk about big things, but the reality is the power lies in small things. A small discussion with that one person who's walking in your store, have you ever tried contact lens, will actually change the game. And there are studies to prove. There was a study which was done by Nilesh sir, and we have our own favorite, or everybody's favorite, study, which was like done multiple times and proved that when contact lens discussion was initiated, there are people who have, opted for this option. I think with that objective, whatever we will do will help in, making people aware and ensuring that they relate to the category. That's what is my opinion in terms of
I
making it
completely,
visible to people.
completely agree. I think if people can just start talking about it, just start talking about it, like everybody just start talking about contact lenses. That's it. Even if you don't know anything else, just say contact lenses. Just start talking about it. Like, I think if we start talking about it, we can like
Use it as a full stop. So how are you? Contact lenses. I'm fine. Contact lenses.
In fact, I'm not recalling this study. I remember reading it, very old study. This was, I think, a Gallup survey where they said that they evaluated two set of practices. One practice, and both the groups were having similar level of contact lens penetration in those practices. And they asked one practice to follow something. And after, I think, 8 months, they reviewed the result. And what they see, I think 42%, as I remember, was the increase in contact lens penetration in first group, which started using something in their practice. And what that something was, everybody in the staff will use contact lens, at least one, with every customer. So for example, people entering, hi sir, would you like to go for a contact lens examination or for your spectacle examination? No, I don't wear contact lens. Okay, fine, please proceed. Anybody calling for appointment? Okay, once you complete, okay, would you also like to book your contact lens appointment? No, I don't wear contact lens. Okay, sir, fine. You introduce that word in your practice and review your own practice after 8 9 months, you will see the result. And that's what this study actually documented. So absolutely on that, Isha. The more we talk about contact lenses, more it is discussed, more it is perceived by consumer. And that is one very strong way we can move that needle little, positive side.
Yep. So you want me to go next, Paula?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, a couple of interesting insights. First of all, when we conducted a study, 86% people agreed that they want to listen to practitioners' recommendation. Okay, 86. Second, only less than 40% of those wanted free eye test. We talk so much about free eye test, but the out of these 750 consumers, only 38% were okay or agreed for free eye test. Otherwise, they were okay to pay for eye test, and the average amount they were willing to pay for a professional detailed eye test was 400 rupees. We are talking about India. That increased to 500 rupees in metro cities and decreased to 300 rupees in smaller towns. 750 consumers. Okay, so I think this is an eye opener. हमारे ही दिमाग में कुछ चल रहा है. People are okay to pay. People want to listen to you. Number one insight. Number two, the more lenses go in people's eyes, the more people are eventually going to wear contact lenses. As simple as that. Lakshmi was involved in this study, and we had 6 practitioners across India. Out of 120 people who allowed contact lenses to be worn, to be applied to their eyes, 63 people came back and purchased them within 3 months
Wow.
without a single follow-up call. And this paper is published in Contact Lens and Anterior Eye. More than 50% was the success rate. What did they do? Nothing. They just, half of the patients, they spoke about contact lenses and gave a trial. Remaining half, they did not even speak about contact lenses. Patients came for spectacle correction, and contact lenses were applied only to aid their selection process, which is the ease study that Raj was mentioning,
Basically helping them to select their
to
frames.
just select the frame.
People who
In
come
both ways, we got good success. When you talked about contact lens and then recommended, we got higher success. But put together, more than 50% people actually bought contact lenses, which is a very high success rate. Even if it is 20%, it is good. And we got more than 50. But we kind of attribute that to our practices, which were very good practices. All of them were fellows of IACL, etc. So senior practitioners, good with communication, good with technical skills also, right? Now, I promised Paula that I'll share a document with everyone. So this is the document that we have developed, and this is, anybody who's interested can ask me and I'll share it with you. So what do you do? How do you actually go about the contact lens consultation? So there are different ways. Before entering the clinic, you do certain things. First contact, then initial interaction, then exam and counseling. So what are the steps? Be enthusiastic. Simple, very simple. Greet with a warm, natural smile. Ask yourself, do you greet each and every patient with a genuine smile? If not, start doing that. Ask precise and relevant question. When you get the answer, recommend confidently. Be interested and listen to them actively, then recommend confidently, and eventually be proactive. So if you just go through this one pager, you will get an idea as to how do you counsel your patient. So during the history taking itself, we always ask ki aap kya kaam karte ho, what is your profession. Very rarely do we ask what do you do in your free time, or what are your hobbies. So start asking these questions in your initial history taking, and note down or make a mental note what the patient is answering. So after the eye examination, you can start talking more about those points which you had discussed, and at the end you can simply ask one question: has there been any moments when you felt that you should not have been wearing glasses that time? And this is a very very powerful question. Then the patients think, हाँ यार, मैं जिम गया था तब मेरे पास चश्मा नहीं होता तो अच्छा होता. And that is where you can actually talk about the benefits of contact lenses so that the patient's lifestyle improves. So don't randomly talk about contact lenses, understand patient's lifestyle and then see how contact lenses can help that particular patient. If we follow this, I think we will do much better than what we are doing currently. The other things that we need to do is, and I this got from again a survey, we need to look at how to educate the parents and how to educate public in general. And this is where I would encourage all the established optometrists and senior guys. We can start writing blogs, we can start writing newspaper articles, very simple, easy to understand language. But parents counseling is important because, as Isha would agree, nowadays myopia control is becoming important, and in next few years it's going to become even more important. And that could be a great opportunity also for contact lens wearers. So in my mind, for India, there are three major opportunities. One, occasional wear daily disposable lenses, because you're removing care and maintenance completely, and it fits well in the patient's lifestyle. When I want, I'll wear glasses. When I want, I'll just pop up a pair of contact lenses. I'm done. Second, myopia control, because the way we are seeing more and more children becoming myopic, and after the pandemic, probably it will trigger more. I think this is going to be big, and contact lenses are great, and we all know that, especially orthokeratology and some soft contact lenses also, right? And the third, which is very untapped, very fresh market, is presbyopes. We are talking about uncorrected refractive errors. We're not talking about 30 crore presbyopes in India, right? So, and these are the people who have money. These are the people who don't want to wear glasses suddenly, because that reveals, sudden change in the age and lifestyle. So these are the three opportunities in my mind: occasional wear, daily disposable lenses, myopia control, and presbyopes. Start looking at these, and this is one of the ways you can grow your contact lens practice. Yeah, Paula, that's about it from my side.
Talking about just as you said that the survey which you did, wherein the patients or the public, they agreed to pay for eye test, like an average of around 400 rupees. Now this is a fact that a lot of people, a lot of young optometrists, they say that cost is a factor, that public is not interested sometimes.
Yeah,
It happens that ज़्यादा cost है तो नहीं लेते हैं and stuff. But the kind,
Mobile phones or tablets
yes,
or
yes,
smart televisions
people
would come
use
in with
it.
their big diamond earrings,
Yes.
Nike shoes,
Nike shoes, Louis Vuitton bags.
So
everything.
what is this? This is because this is contradictory. Because
I'm going to pass it to Kimraj, but before that, just one comment. It's not the cost, absolutely, it's the priority. How much are you willing to pay for the health of your eyes? And Kimraj will tell you there are lenses which are from the entire range.
Absolutely. In fact, we as industry don't believe that cost is furthermore any barrier, at least in India. You have a
I
good quality monthly disposable lens at a cost of maybe per month, within 200 rupees, you can use
yeah.
that lens for 3 months. 3 months. I'm talking about 1.5 pair, or within 150 rupees, you can use that for 1.5 months. You have a daily disposable lens which costs you only 70 rupees a day. One pair I'm talking about. Occasional vision is a great,
Absolutely.
great concept which we are not talking to people. We are
Yeah.
not talking. I
Correct.
remember we see people using conventional lenses. Why? Because it was cheap to buy. The first ticket was less. But why the practitioner didn't spoke about daily disposable? If it was only two occasions that person want to wear,
Absolutely.
this lady is wearing it for two occasions in a month, keeping it in lens case, and
Mhm.
next month that when there's an occasion, she will ensure that she clean and then wear it with that no stinging sensation. Let us give them a 10 lens pack. Such
Absolutely.
5 years of expiry comes in this product. They will love you for this concept, but then we need to
No one
speak.
talks about.
We need to talk to our patients on
Yes.
the,
And
I
trust me, I
I
spend
and
I
this
on a
goes
cup of
hand in
coffee, I
hand
spend 70
with
rupees.
spectacle also.
yes,
even I too believe cost
It
is
goes with your spectacle
no
hand in hand.
more.
It doesn't impact your spectacle budget. One box of daily disposable, this
It doesn't.
person can use in a month if he's having two such occasions. Two boxes he can
Done.
use entire year.
Yeah.
with the same spectacle. And that's what we need to go out and talk to people. So cost is no more a barrier.
None of
I
us will
don't think
agree.
cost is a
None
barrier.
of us will
I
agree.
agree
Yeah,
entirely.
cost is no more barrier. In fact, if
Not
lenses
at
are
all.
cheaper, then that is a barrier from practices like us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
correct. Exactly.
Can't be
so
too cheap.
if it
Yeah.
is if you are giving
You
us
have to
too cheap
maintain the
lens,
quality and
then
status.
we say sorry, I'm not going to keep this.
Tell these,
Yeah,
yeah,
Okay.
agree.
that's right.
So you
So,
have
in nutshell, if you
product for everybody now.
Yeah.
You have product for a college going person. You also have a product for a CEO of an organization. But then who will tell that person that this is what is for you?
No,
This
no,
is
no, no.
what is for all of
College
us.
going now, you should have even higher value products, because you do a survey and go to any college and stand in front of gate. You will find what kind of smartphones they are
I
using, what
tell,
kind of
Exactly.
I
shoes they
put
are using.
The
12, I
Nike
say I put
shoes,
12.
the
Why
Again,
not?
bags.
prioritization again.
Yes,
Yeah.
So I
cost is
think
never
in
a
a
barrier.
nutshell, the basic thing is that people should start talking about contact
Yeah.
lenses. That's
Yeah.
Correct.
the only thing. Just everybody, whether they are, young practitioners or established practitioners or, over-the-counter salespeople or whatever, I think everybody needs to start talking about contact lens as an option. So
Just
that's
a
that's
just
what
Yeah.
seems
Lakshmi, just a quick idea in addition to talking to this is a real story. When few years ago we had a new marketing manager. He had never seen a contact lens, right? When he saw the
I
contact lens for the first
remember.
time and when he touched the contact lens, he was amazed. He was like, "Kya? Itne soft hote hai ye?" This is a well educated marketing manager I'm talking about. So imagine a common consumer has no idea about how soft and how easygoing and how comfortable today's lenses are. So maybe every practitioner can do us one simple thing. Let a patient touch and feel a contact lens. That can change perspective of patients. Trust me, if we
yeah.
can do that.
Absolutely.
So to wrap up, I think we are on time, and I would like to wrap up. So uh, I want, like, because in the very first when I was introducing, I have said that all the panelists are speaking on a certain capacity. So I would like 2 to 3 solutions from each of the panelists in their capacity. So I would start from Ajay sir.
Yeah, Paula, solution is very simple. Involve your frontliners, front staff, front sales staff, and other non-technical staff in contact lens. At least they need to explain little bit about contact lens. They need to generate a query on contact lenses, and don't leave this contact lens category only to optometrist. So this is my strong recommendation. If you involve whether it is receptionist or counter salesperson, if you involve them well on a counseling part, not counseling will come later, rather introduction part. So they need to introduce contact lens, whether a simple word while like previously we were discussing, just they need to ask simple question, have you ever tried contact lenses? That will do. But their involvement is must if you really want to increase the penetration of contact lens. We do it and we are getting better results.
Okay, okay. So Isha, your thoughts?
So I'm going to speak from completely from a academic point of view. So now I'm directing these statements at institutes and students. So students, you have whatever institute that you're at, you have a fundamental right to learn. So please demand from your institutes to teach you how to fit contact lenses. Demand. Go to your principal, go to your lecturers, go to your faculty and say, I don't know how to insert a lens and look at the fit. Please demand, because it is part of your curriculum and you should know this as you graduate. Institute, it is your responsibility to ensure that you're properly equipping your students as they leave. So if you're not teaching, if you're not equipping them with the skills that they need, you are not doing your job. So please, students, make your demands and make sure that your demands are fulfilled. Secondly, it will, again, to students and institutes, it will really help you guys to get a part-time job. Moving forward, communication, these soft skills that we're talking about, get a Sunday job, get a half-day job, go to an optical, your local optical, go to your local optometry clinic and get a part-time job. That's where you learn these soft skills. Get ahead of the rest of them. So get yourself a job and learn how to talk to people, learn how to communicate. And then everything that you learn in college will directly translate because you'll see it unfolding in front of you as it's happening. So really, really think about that and get yourselves a part-time job. Not for the money, just because it really will help you learn and move ahead. But again, I'm just going to come back to please demand that you get taught what you're supposed to be taught.
Right, right. So, Nilesh sir, your thoughts?
Yeah, not much actually. For my more than a thought, I think as a practitioner, are we convinced that contact lenses are good? Are we convinced that they are a good correction option as good as spectacles? If yes, and if we believe that they are going to help our patients improve their lifestyle, then there is no reason to hold back. Then it's our responsibility to offer that to each and every potential patient. So talking about contact lenses to every potential patient, and one step ahead, ensuring that everyone gets an experience of contact lens wear. It could be a 15-minute experience within your clinic. If we do that, automatically there will be people who will start wearing contact lenses. So very simple, get more lenses in more eyes. See how you can do that. And whatever tool you require to do that, we are all here to help you. Trust us. We will definitely want to help you because we are passionate about making more and more people wear contact lenses. So if anyone wants any help on this, feel free to contact.
Right. So our listeners who are listening, this is an open open invitation, I would say. So
Yeah.
please take like this opportunity. You should not miss this opportunity. And yes, from the corporate side, Kemraj, your comments.
Yeah, I would say that discuss with industry, not only approach industry only for margins. Yes, that's something which you can always discuss. But then industry has wonderful programs to ensure that your practice grows in contact lens. To name a few,
So also
we give
resources, also
contact
resources.
lens trial. Yes, we give contact lens trial on our website. Earlier, it was like 20 trials in a month, which has now gone to thousands of trials every month. Every month, we are giving out. Users just have to register themselves, and the trial reaches. We send that trial. This is our bit of increasing trial. But when it comes to practitioners, please come to us if you want any such program. We have done programs in past with our different partners, and we have seen results. In, for example, a practice who wanted to develop more multifocal patients in a practice, we collaborated, did something, and then they got successful contact lens, multifocal contact lens patients in their clinic, and then now it's up and running. So please approach industry for all such productive, things in your own clinic. We have a team of people who can, or a team of optometrists, marketers, who will help you increase your CL practice, for which we are dedicated. I would say we all are in it together, whether it is education, whether it is recommendation by a practitioner, or a good experience from a consumer. All of us are there in it together. And that's why we have incorporated or included things like a communication module for practitioners. So if any one of you or any college want us to conduct a formal session on how to counsel for contact lens or how to talk about contact lens with a patient, please contact us. We will be more than happy to conduct that for your students or for your optometrist working in your clinic. So on
Great.
that note, I think I really like one sentence from Nilesa. More patient, more you fit, more it will grow. More lenses in the eye will decide the future of this industry. On that note, I will, take a pause here.
Yes, yes. So I think I will leave the floor open now and pass it on to Lakshmi ma'am for her closing statements. But before that, it was really wonderful getting such comments from everybody, and whoever will be seeing this this 1 hour communication. I think definitely we'll get points and takeaway messages which will definitely help them to go forward, even if it is zero, at least to 1% or 5%. That help is always there. So whoever is listening or whoever will be listening, please take these opportunities. And it is always easy to say that nahi ho raha, but karne se hi hoga. So at the end of the day, wahi hai. So Lakshmi ma'am, your closing comments.
No, I totally agree with you. I think, in terms of an organization point of view, if we can be of help to at least 5 or 10 people in their mindset, in changing their mindset, in their approach towards contact lens and contact lens fitting, I think then we've really done our job. If this is going to help at least 5 to 10 people to think outside the box, involve their staff, towards increasing contact lens fitting and so on, and motivate young people to in that direction with whatever Isha is saying, I think then we've done our job in that direction. We can't really police everybody, and that's not our job as well. So, but at least if we can facilitate the process, I think that's a job well done. And me being the selfish person as I am, as OCI, during this talk, I've got a few ideas for World Optometry Day. So, Kemraj, I think I'll have a discussion with you.
So every time you get some ideas and some homework.
Yeah, that's
after
right.
every discussion.
So I think we'll have something interesting in coming up for World Optometry Day. So please do look out. And of course, thanks to all the panelists, on a weekend during the afternoon hour to take time off, come here and talk. So really thankful to you, Ajay. I know you're very, very busy with all the outlets and stuff. So thank you. Thank you, Kemraj. Isha, thank you. And of course, Nilesh as well. So thanks to all the panelists, and the comments from Facebook also have been very, very interesting. A lot of them really chipping in terms of saying that we have to include staff. Sometimes staff have to wear contact lenses themselves, and a cost is not a factor. We need trial lenses, and some of them commenting on the quality of graduates that are coming out. So very involving discussion, I would say. So thanks to all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you once again. Keep it up. And contact lens, I think we all are so passionate, and the passion comes through actually the way we speak. So once again, thank you for having us, and all the best. Good luck with your next sessions.
Thank you. Thanks everybody, and do take your vaccines.
Yes.
Thank you. Stay safe.
Bye.
Good weekend, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.